Welcome back to Atlantic Building Inspections report writing tutorial videos. This is video number, I think, 3. And this video is going to focus on the electrical section of the report and how to fill it out, what type of pictures to put in, and that kind of thing. Okay, so if you will, you'll scroll to the electrical section of the report, and the first thing you're going to do is remember, I'm going to show you how to use this report writing software while you're on site so that you can use it with a computer, but you can also apply these things to filling out the report, for example, in your car, at home, or home office or whatever. So remember, all of these gray sections here, you have to lock the form. There is 2 protect buttons on the toolbar for easy access. So the first thing you want to do is you want to protect your form. So if you're out in the field, you do the same thing. You protect the form, and then you simply click on these, and they are drop-down menus. So while you're on the inspection, you go to the bathroom, and in the bathroom you find that there's a GFCI. Well, you simply click on the lock button here, and you click here and you put bathrooms. As you're walking around in the bedroom section, you notice that there are smoke detectors. So you click here, present. Now you could click present, present more needed, or absent smoke detectors is recommended. So in this particular case, what you would do is you would say, well, do I feel that more are needed? I only found 1 or 2, and I really feel like we should put some more in here. Then you would go ahead and pick present, more needed. Now, switches and receptacles, I usually answer this descriptive question towards the end of the inspection when I have a good idea of what type of switches and receptacles there are. There could be grounded receptacles, which are your 3-prong grounded. Usually I put in grounded when the property is vacant, because that tells me and the buyer that I was able to test all of them. Ungrounded, if they are the 2-prong type, and I was able to test all of them. If I had both grounded and ungrounded outlets and I was able to test all of them, I put this one. Grounded access restricted means that there was furnishing, people were living there, so there was some restriction. I didn't get to all of them. Grounded majority not visible or accessible. This means that the property was heavily occupied and we didn't get to the majority of them. And then the same applies here. Grounded access restricted, majority not visible. Grounded, ungrounded, majority restricted. Then down towards the bottom, ungrounded access restricted. So you can figure those out there. All right. Main disconnects in a condo, we're never going to get to it, so it's always going to have part of building not located. Service entrance conductors, we're never going to see them in a condo, so they're going to be inaccessible. Size of electrical, service, we're also never going to see, so it's going to be not determined. Now, we get to the hallway and we find a panel. So we get to the electrical panel, and the first thing we want to do is we want to take our laser thermometer, and we want to run the laser thermometer up and down the breakers and take pictures of, I would say, at least 8 or 9 pictures of the thermostat, the temperature of the breakers. Then we carefully remove the cover of the panel, and then we're going to go ahead and look on the inside to inspect. So as far as descriptive, we're going to put where it's located. And here we have many different locations. So we're going to say, in this case, hallway. Accessible means, well, were we able to remove the cover? Is it easy to get to? Can we open up the door and take a look at the breakers if we need to? So we're going to say here, yes, but let's suppose it was no. It's sealed with caulking or paint, or no, blocked by the occupant's belongings, or blocked by landscaping or furniture. So you decide which one it is and you pick it. Here we're going to put whether it's breakers or fuses are not accessible. We're going to say this one is breakers. And here we're going to look at the rating on the panel, and we're going to pick a rating, and here we're going to say 125. Now, we are going to unprotect the form. In a condo, more than likely, we only have 1 panel. So if at the end of the inspection we find that there was only 1 panel, we want to come out here and highlight this entire row, and we want to backspace. And that's going to delete that second subpanel. However, if we do have a second subpanel, it's already there. Now, don't get worried. If you find a second subpanel after you've deleted that, you simply highlight this row, right-click, copy it, and then right-click again and put paste row, and now you have the second one. And now here, all you do is you protect your form, and you put here, for example, you found the second one in the living room, and there was no access, and then, it was fuses. whatever the description is for the second one, you can just modify it. If not, once again, highlight it, hit backspace on your keyboard, and it's done. Okay, always remember every once in a while you're in the field doing these inspections, you need to hit save, this button right here, because we do have the situation where things go wrong with the computer. So you want to make sure that you're saving your report as you go. All right, let's lock the form here and let's pick this one here. Let's just say it was grounded with some access restrictions. Let's say we finished our inspection and we also noted that we had some GFI in the kitchens and we had some GFI in the exterior balcony. All right, so now this descriptive section here looks pretty complete to me. We've got our ground fault circuit interrupter outlets where they were located. Smoke detectors is answered, whether we have them or we don't. Switches and receptacles, or we have an answer in there. Sub panel is described. And here we have visible distribution wiring. In the condo section, these two are pre-filled out with this. Now, if we do see a situation where there is fabric insulated wiring, we lock the form, and then here we can pick fabric insulated wiring. Okay, so you can add to this, you can change this if you need to, but in the condo situation, we have these pretty much preset, because we find that most of the time this is the answer. So we don't want you to be a robot, we want you to think. Home inspections is a thinking man's game. So we really need you to think about these things, but we do put this in here for ease of use. Okay, so now this brings us into the electrical observations and cost estimate portion of the report. You will see this blinking no discernible significant repairs in the section here. Every section has that in here. This is really designed to be used at the end of the inspection when we've decided, okay, well, what are we going to put in the report summary and what are we not going to put in the report summary? And are there any significant repairs? And if we feel like there's nothing that belongs up in that report summary, we're going to leave this no discernible significant repairs just the way it is. However, if we do find that we have several observations that we want to send to the report summary, then we're going to remove this from the report altogether. We're going to highlight from the space above it down, and we're going to again we're going to delete. We're going to hit delete, and it's going to go away. So we're not going to do that initially, and you're not going to do that while you're doing your inspection on site. This is something you're going to do towards the end when your report is pretty much ready to be looked at, and the observations ready to be sent to your report summary. And we're going to go over that in a video that's completely designed to the report summary. Okay, so now we're going to show you how to fill out this portion of the report while you're on site or at home doing your inspection. Again, we have a gray box, and that automatically should ring a bell by now that you need to protect the form if you're going to go ahead and you're going to use that form field. Okay, and in this case, we're going to use that form field. Let's say now we're standing right in front of the panel. We've obviously are going to inspect it. We've been able to remove the cover, and we've discovered in the panel that there are some double taps with no spaces. So two wires improperly going into one single pole breaker, and there is no space in the panel for additional breakers. So we need to put that in here as the observation item. Now, we've designed this report writing software to be as easy and as well, in other words, we have drop-down menus for almost all the observations. That does not mean that you can simply just drop in an observation and run away. You need to look at what you're dropping in, because every home, every property is a little bit different. So you want to make sure that what you're putting in the report applies directly to this property. Okay, so we found this double tap. So basically we're going to double click on the word none, and we're going to come up here where it says all entries, and we're going to click here. Now, if you notice, we have a drop-down menu. However, every single observation in this drop-down menu pertains to the sub-panel. There's nothing in here about plumbing and about roofing and about, air conditioning. Every single one of these boxes has its own list of drop-down menus. This only applies to outlets. This one only applies to distribution wiring. This one only applies to light fixtures. And this one only applies to smoke detectors. Okay, so simply by double clicking in the box, you're going to be able to click here and you're going to have all of these. So we've got a double tap, no space. We just located it. Double tap, no space. And I think the hardest part of learning this report writing software is finding what it is that you want to say from our drop down menu. And really, reality is that's really going to come with practice, practice, practice. Those are the three things that you're going to need to do to get really good at using this software. Like any software out there, you're going to have to practice. Okay, so we double click on it and automatically, boom, voila. You see that it put right in there one or more repair item, one or more single pole breakers are improperly double tapped. There is no space for additional breakers. Reconfiguring and or replacing the panel with a larger panel may be one of the recommendations made by a licensed electrician. Consult a licensed electrician who deals with these types of repairs before the end of your inspection period. Now, you notice at the bottom that there are two frames here. These are photo frames. So we use cameras that have Wi-Fi in there, and we use Wi-Fi on us, and we have our computers. So when we take that picture, okay, on site, the first thing we want to do when we see that double tap is take that picture. Then we want to go to the computer and we want to go to the subpanel section and look for this observation and put it in. By the time we do that, our photo should be waiting for us in the computer already. Okay, so basically the way that works then is you put your cursor in the box and you click on this box here, insert picture, and you go look for that picture. So let's just use this picture here just to say that this is what it is. You double click on it and there you go. There's your picture with the double tap as an example. Now, let's say you wanted to point at the double tap. So you pretty much all you have to do is click on the photo, and up here you click on the arrow and then you just point where you want to point. Again, there is your arrow. Okay. Now let's say you want to circle the double tap. Well, you click up here on the oval and you come here and you design your circle. The first time you put in the circle, it's going to be filled in. So you want to double click on the circle, click on the color and put no fill and hit OK. Now you see that the fill is gone. You want to right click on it and you want to set that as the auto default. Okay. So now every time from this point on that you put in an oval, anywhere you put it in the report, it's going to have a transparent fill-in. So you're going to be able to see exactly what it is that you're trying to point at. Okay, so now you got to think, okay, well, there's got to be a cost associated with this repair. Again, you've got the gray form and the red flag goes off the light bulb. You've got to protect the form, turns it into a drop-down menu, and let's just say we're going to say $300 to $500 for repairs. Now, you have the option of putting your cursor behind this and then clicking here for a new drop-down list of different things. So you can put repair, replacement, you can put, per location, waterproofing, mold testing only, further investigation only. There's a bunch of different ones that you can put here, including inquire of the association. So inquire of the association regarding repair, replacement responsibilities, if that's what you feel needs to be said there. In this case, I would just leave it alone because you're already saying that it's a repair item and you're putting money here for an actual repair. But for example, if this was a investigate further item, then you might want to come back here and you might want to click here and put further investigation only. Or let's just say this was a repair item. However, you're not really 100% sure of how much it's going to cost it. You can also come here and just click unknown, obtain specific estimates from a licensed contractor before the end of your inspection period. You can also put in the $300 to $500, and if you're not very sure of the price, you can also click here and put obtain specific estimates. So what you're saying there is, hey, it's $300 to $500, but go ahead and obtain estimates. Even though here you're saying consult a licensed electrician, which deals with it, blah, blah, blah. So again, you just, and here you don't have to put anything. I'm just showing you that you can. Now, let's just say for argument's sake that you found something else wrong with the panel. So all you have to do is put your cursor right below here in the empty space, come back to your menu, and you want to go ahead now and put what else you found. So let's say you found some improper splices, and there is, again, the frame. Now, let's just say you don't want to use the frames because there's no picture of it and you don't really need to put a picture of this. The report, by the way, guides you. So when you do see the frames, we usually want you to put a picture or two in there. regarding that. But let's just say this